All right, welcome to DevKami 199. This is definitely a prime number, I know for sure, but
199 red balloons.
Yes, it's a German song which I discovered. It's not an English song. It's a German song. It's 99 Love Balloon. Let me find it. 99 Love
Balloon. 99 Balloon.
Yeah, it's 99 Love Balloons. But then, so I discovered. So it's a very familiar tune, but it's in Germany. So
that's an English one.
This English one I can't find, but this it is what it is lah. So quite a number of things happening. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm swimming.
I am Tristan.
I am Chileng.
Yes, the other two guys have been on holiday last week, and I forgive them. Actually, there's nothing. Everybody need a break anyway. But quite a number of things happening this week. I know you. Some of you guys that rely on MRT. Too bad. The LRTs have been broken until Tuesday, I believe.
It's horrible.
It's a very bad situation.
Very bad.
And it's a main line. The one that is broken is a main line.
Correct. So the backup is very bad. It's something that we bitch about on the side for a long time on Sina project side anyway, because there's a reason why I have a passion about public transport and all that. So that's one. Number two is next week is election week. It'll be on Saturday. Some of you guys may leave early. A number of states giving you holidays to leave for on one day so they can go back to hometown. It'll be jammed.
KL is not on holiday though. PJ is on holiday,
and that's
KL is
correct.
Selangor Friday is a holiday for Selangor.
Yeah,
correct.
So PJ is Selangor.
Correct. So if you work around Selangor area, KL area, you may be in Selangor. As a result, you may be on holiday.
Yeah.
So then
but just take note that KL is separate, and so we don't have any news about whether we have a holiday or not.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not voting, but I mean it's a holiday, so I'm looking forward if there's an announcement.
Oh no. Let me go back. I already have the tab ready. So this week it's already November. It's 10th. Oh, we have actually yesterday is GitHub Universe, and we have Linux Foundation and Keynote. We missed that. Today is still GitHub Universe. I did not know what announcement they have. I should pick it up quickly. Then take up this weekend.
I'm gonna just do the summary. I just read the summary.
Yeah, I'm going to find a summary later, and we have nothing after next week actually. So because the election is 19, so yeah.
Of course, December 6th, if you're looking forward that far, will be Tuesday, last one of the year.
Yes. Then big one is I will add it to our calendar. December 3rd is DevFest. Get your ticket. It's 30 ringgit. It will be happening in Sunway University. Say what you want about Google developers event, but it is what it is. It is a platform that have a talk, and that's it.
And it's also a lot of people, and it's crowded. So that's the thing.
Precisely. So it's one of those big events, so to say, lah.
The thing about big events is that if it takes a whole day, it's too much. I don't know. I mean, it feels efficient use of your time, but it also feels too tiring. I personally prefer like the 2-hour meetups that happen near the workplace. Like for example, the Lucky Tuesday ones, right? So that's 2 hours.
Yes.
You take the train and then you get there, and then you have free food, and you go home after like 10 o'clock. I feel that feels much better for me than the big events like these DevFests.
Correct. But in practice, those big events is where we actually go out from the meeting room, talk in the lounge area or whatever. That's mostly what happened. Especially true if we're going to have a bar camera event. It's almost always somebody steal a room. We just talk our way there instead of having a whole conference lah. But otherwise, online event, we will probably going to summarize GitHub Universe next week. The Linux Foundation Summit Keynote maybe next week as well. Jamstack, if I remember, maybe even next week. Then DevFest KL, which will happen December 6th, We will remind you because that's all the way in next month.
Hmm.
So with that said, let's go to our event. But before that, I want to show two things. I'm on Mastodon, but I'm on the PyCon Asia, which don't have a lot of people. So let me see how it goes. It's so because Iqbal have been joining, starting a community of Asian Python
But
developers,
you don't
minus
have to be in the
China.
server to follow you, right? They're
No,
all
no, no, no. You can,
federated. I mean, it depends on how he set
yes,
it up. Like he's
correct.
federating, right?
Yeah, it's federated precisely. So I try to find out how does the federation work. I know that content is definitely shared across the
No, well,
network
it depends
as
on
you
your
register.
server admin. So
Yeah,
whoever set
correct.
up your Mastodon server needs to allow federation with other, like he has to
Yep,
say that this is federated to the main Mastodon things,
correct,
and then that's federated to everyone else as well. So it
correct.
usually that's how you would set it up. But a server admin can choose not to federate, and then so that you
Yep,
have your own community by yourself without you won't be able to
yes,
follow with others. So you're
correct.
basically
So
at the mercy of your server admin. So you need to trust your server
correct.
admin.
Yes. So let's see how it goes. I might go if this doesn't. I apparently what I understand as well is Mastodon also allow people to move across different server. So
That
again,
one
that
I don't
depends on
know.
setup. Yeah, I
I'm
need
not
to.
sure.
Okay, so the reason why a lot of people, a lot among my circle anyway, are exploring Mastodon is because Elon Musk finally bought Twitter officially. A number of people got fired. It's a bit fiasco, to be honest. It's
I don't know. I feel
done.
that it's time to fire and get the dead weight out of Twitter, because you'll see a lot of
Yeah,
people just jumping around Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft
yeah,
every 3 months and getting a raise
yeah,
every time after that. So you'll know
yeah.
that there is a lot of like dead weight happening on those things.
Correct.
We're just like
So on the
riding
other
into
hand,
name.
correct. So there's two part of the story. There's that part, and that's the part where a lot of people think about. There's another part where engineers are asked to come back as well because they're familiar with the system. So
Yeah, so here's the
it's
thing, right? It's that's a spin in media, because usually when you take over, it's a
yep,
different contract, like a different owner, and
yeah,
then you usually want, for the rank and file, you usually want to renew contracts, like employment
yes,
contracts. It's not the same thing that you had with, because it's a different employer, even though it's the
yeah,
same company and all of these things. So usually you'll fire the rank and file, and then you'll give them a new contract, which is kind of what media is saying, is that yes, you fire them and then you hire them again. It's exact technically that's what's happening, but it's not really
yeah,
what's happening in spirit. So
yeah,
you need to be very very nuanced with whatever it is that we're reading, because there are a lot of spins happening.
yes,
Some that are just normal in mergers, acquisitions, and all of these
yes,
takeovers are being spun differently as how you would see it.
yes. And the way Elon Musk do things, and he's very loud, and
Mm.
it cost me. It's a mess, to be honest.
Hmm.
So these things are done behind the scene quietly and all that, and some just get it done and let go, and that's about it, right? So
Hmm.
yes, people letting go on that is loud and there's comment, but the way how Elon do it is messy, to be
Well, the
honest.
way it's being reported on is also messy, but that's
Correct.
how you get. So here's the thing, right? Not a lot of people read like the big media, the New York Times, the
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal, all of these things. They just go to
Yes.
Twitter or social media, and then they
Correct.
read about the news over there. And
And
so you really need like these sensationalized issues, maybe getting like all of these news bumped up in terms of like clickbait, just so that you can actually get people to visit. And it's understandable, but at the same time it's also a bit misleading. So you need to really
Yes.
be aware of what it is that you're reading. Try to read from different sources and see, does this make sense? Is it, so the easiest way to think about this is, does this make me angry, or does this make me feel something? Then you have to think about it, like, why am I getting angry at a news item which is supposed to be just factual, right? Was there
Yes.
something in the news item that is trying to evoke something out of me? and that's
Mhm.
the sign.
So as a result, people are exploring Mastodon as a result. So that's that lah. But our Twitter circle is mostly on the election, but that's another story
You
right
know,
now.
social media is always about the network effect.
Hmm.
It's about
Correct.
who is on the network.
Yes. So with that said, okay. So this is the last news that is unrelated to tech directly. So you know the idea of nano machines. So
Hmm.
assemblers, these are assemblers, but this is actually more like mechanical machine. But what this does, this is more like a small Turing machine that read a tape and produce something. So in this case, they're just controlling chemicals. So they move around, do the reaction, and return something out.
Uh,
So this is very similar to a nano machine, but they downplay it a bit. They have the same, they have some of the same behavior, but it's not 100%. So it's not assembler yet, but it's not a nano assembler yet, but
it's just a
it's
computer.
the
It just compute the current.
correct. But
Uh,
it's not 100% the same either. So it's has the same characteristic.
Mm.
And so, for
so I
example, the read information is minimal and it's not possible to write. So it's something that's coming on for the next few years, lah. So, but that's it.
well,
Let's
at
go
least
to
I'm
the
glad
actual
that
news.
I'm glad that Grey Goo is not coming that soon.
Yes,
Mm.
correct.
Hey,
Actually, the
wait.
real reason Grey,
No. Go ahead
yes.
first, and then I'll go next.
So the reason why Grey Goo doesn't work. Okay, so the whole idea of Grey Goo is because there's this guy called Eric Drexler written a book called Engines of Creation. Inside he envisioned the technology to assemble atom. Later, one of the Nobel Prize physicists, Morley, he proved that it's not possible because of the sticky finger problem. But your what's inside the cell is molecular machinery, so it's possible up to a point. So the modern research are not going toward assemblers and more toward molecular machinery to deliver drugs or even special type of catalyst and whatnot. So as a result, it's
Patches.
not Grey
Yeah,
Goo.
patches.
Mm.
Yes, it's not a nano machine, nano robot that will assemble everything. Well, not yet anyway.
Consume and assemble.
Mm.
Consume,
So,
Correct.
think, and assemble.
speaking of the, because we were talking about Mastodon just now, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we make our own DevKami Mastodon?
Yes, but I
Yeah.
discovered that one of the hassle is I need to get the email service up and all that relies on email.
Yeah.
That
I mean, you
we
don't
can
need to
pay for it.
be, you don't need to, what do you call this? How do you say? Like, it needs to be like very, very trusted by everyone else, right? It just needs
Yeah.
to
We
be.
need to get Mailchimp lah. In short, we need to get something like Mailchimp and whatnot. Pay for that a
You don't
bit,
even
then
need
get it
to.
on.
You don't even need to. You just do your send mail, and then turn it on, and then turn it off when you don't need it.
Yeah. I'm going to. I was trying to look at that the setup and see what's the
Mm.
thing over the weekend.
That
I
would
don't
be
have a strong
interesting,
idea how. Yeah.
because this
So
is the point of Mastodon, that you are. It
correct.
should be easy to create communities and service around.
Correct.
It is, but
And
the problem is that most of us use webmail,
Mm.
yeah.
and webmail get this certain reputation because,
Mm.
of course, understandable to prevent spams, but
Mm-hmm.
it also
Correct.
make it hard for to self host some of the services.
Mm.
And also one of the okay, so for setting up is easy, but one of the barrier for setting joining Mastodon, so to say, is what community, because the main Mastodon community is it's not possible for you to join the main community directly now. I think some of the people that get it is invited into it, so into the main Mastodon, the first the official, not official, is one of the okay, the first Mastodon servers, then then comes other of the smaller community.
Who have
Which one do you
any
join?
Mastodon
Yeah, correct. In
membership.
theory, those Mastodon servers would talk to each other because those are the one that is
Yeah, but
registered, right?
that's how federation works, and that's
Yeah.
the
Correct.
thing. You don't need to join their server in order to be
Yes.
able to
Now
be
the
followed
question
and to
then is,
follow.
now people. So if you find a community that you believe in, then you can join in. Then that's it. For some others, then you have to think about like
They
which one.
want. I
Right?
think it's overlap with two purposes. One is just I
Yeah.
just need that community, and the one
Yeah.
is that
Correct.
sometimes we want the chain of trust.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Correct.
Because again, the server,
It,
whoever owns your server, can read your messages, can basically
Yes.
control your thing. That's why you need to trust your server admin.
Correct. Correct.
So if you're really paranoid, you start your own Mastodon server, and
it's
then
not
now you
even.
control
Yes.
everything.
It's not even gonna be better than Twitter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. 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 It's not.
Like just like Tristan say, it's up to the way the operators gonna work on it.
Correct. Correct. It's BBS all over again. Actually, except I was never in BBS stage, by the way. So let's
Yeah, I
start
was there
with our news.
short while.
So or even mailing lists. The
We were
new.
Python Malaysia were started in mailing list.
Yes.
A lot
Correct.
of communities were started in mailing lists. That was the
Correct.
easiest way to broadcast content.
Yeah, and some of my
Correct.
stupid messages are still there, immortalized.
Yes. I
And
know.
I'm find them too cringe.
Yes.
Like,
I was there. I afraid to read my
yeah.
Facebook stuff.
but I'm glad that there's no picture or anything.
Correct. So this is cool for me because I'm a user of PostgreSQL. So PG Metrics is actually a tool to collect and report PostgreSQL metrics for automation, script and troubleshooting. It generates report, it make it easy to read, and we can use it for automation because it's in a structured format. So these are sample output. If I can show it or that. It's mostly text and value. It's pretty comprehensive, I have to say, which as a result is very useful. So that you don't have to run explain all the time or use a stat statement all the time. This would, when something happened, you would just go in and get the report and see what's happening. And this is what monitoring is about. So it make monitoring easy, and I like it. I'm planning to use it, but I have other priorities. But I can introduce that in our application. My bigger problem is where to store report and all that. But so IDS metrics, you can recollect all these. So yeah, very cool stuff. What do you think?
Yeah.
Anything to add?
I'm mainly on Prometheus, and there's already a Postgres exporter.
Yeah, correct. If you already have that, then not much lah. But if you don't, then there's one lah. So
because
next
we are
one,
not everything on the cloud.
correct.
So,
Yes, but this is This is not.
but this
on
is
the
Picture
cloud.
Metrics collects this metric using the CloudWatch API.
Right. Yeah.
It means that it is for AWS only.
No, not necessarily. It works for Azure, Citus, PG Bouncer.
Okay.
I believe it collect locally for local version as well. I could be wrong. Because it could be. I suspect this. I finally understand it might possible, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to move on. This one, SAO in real life. Yes. Honestly, it's too crazy, but consider did he actually build it, or did he actually build it? This is what I'm not very
I think
clear about.
he said something he had issue trying to as in be able to market this legally.
No, yeah, it's too crazy. Right?
I actually read half of the report. He say is that the mechanism is too hard, so he was thinking about putting a small charges around your head.
Yes, correct. So too crazy for me. I mean, you got the whole series about SAO about that, which is, as I said, too crazy.
I have no idea about SAO.
Yeah. So, and also in the anime, they also have this problem where people do not believe that those things actually kill people, so they form a group to actually kill people. So some actually think that they die because they're psychopath, and some people think that it's a lie, so they form a group. So the ends up have to take them down one way or another. Then SAO after that, season 2 is it's not around this anymore. It's something else. It's not that extreme. But SAO only talk about virtual reality SAO, right? It only get more and more sci-fi over the season. So in the movie, they talk about assembling human personality with deep learning. Then the way they do it is fake, but the idea is feasible. That which is actually available in some of the ancestor try to ancestor assembly thing. Your dead virtual avatar thing. Then the latest one is about the build artificial intelligence in a game community, which again very similar to thing that I share about, where they actually people actually do reinforcement learning in agent in a game environment, aka Minecraft. So not as advanced as SAO, but they seems to be predicting the future. Off topic about SAO, but yeah. So I think this is too crazy. What you guys think?
It's crazy,
Too
but
much.
coming from him, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but there needs to be a hook as well. Like if whatever you're experiencing in the VR is realistic enough, then maybe
Yeah.
people will want it. But the problem is right now it's like e-ink devices,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's
Yep.
great for some things, but the refresh rate is not very good. It's the same with VR.
Correct.
It's great, but there's not enough
Mm-hmm.
immersion. Like you can't walk
Yep.
around and
It's
you actually feel like you're
yeah,
walking around.
Yep.
not
So there's
really
still
full immersion is there. Another issue is that it's pretty tiring compared to
Mhm.
conventional
Correct.
computer entertainment.
Yeah.
Correct. It's
So
just not there yet.
if you're able to just connect directly to the brain electrodes, let's say, and you
Mm-hmm.
can, and it feels like dreaming instead of moving your body in actual space, but you're actually just thinking about moving, and then it moves. Like as in you're dreaming, you're trying to move, but then your body is paralyzed, right? Maybe that
Yep.
people will want to, and let's say the cost is that if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yep.
People will be tempted to do that because it's the immersion is enough. But right now there's not a lot of pull. There's not enough bait to get people
Yeah.
to try this out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll pass. Too crazy for me.
No, it's not gonna be. He's not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Which is I know.
Just put
So
something.
so this one is about doing a self-hosted Docker registry. What I can't find in this link is how he installed the registry. So
But you're
this
able
is
to
what
run
I'm.
a registry already, I think.
Oh,
um
this is just a step to do that,
mm,
right?
okay, like what is there, like something special, like I don't know, um
This is a
public or
step.
something?
I think
Mm.
this is just a step, actually, step on how to do this,
Yeah,
but it's not very clear.
because Docker registries were designed from the beginning to be run as a private, uh, like you
Right,
can run private registries yourself. It's just that
right,
of course network costs are the problem, because if you're hosting it
correct.
yourself, then and you make it public, then people will download images from your
Hmm.
server, and then now you have a problem
Right.
as a progenitor registry.
Yeah, because this is what they sell. You just set up your own Docker with your own setup. Yeah, you're right. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
some better package one with ACL and stuff like that lah. But
Hmm.
I've
right.
actually forgot some of the name of the packages.
But of course, in these cases, you'd rather like either go for Docker Hub if you're
Mm-hmm.
under the free plan. If you are using a lot of images,
Mm-hmm.
if it falls under your GitHub or GitLab Docker registry limits,
Mm-hmm.
then use that. Basically, it's the same as email. You can host it,
Yeah.
and it's designed to be hosted by yourself, but
Yeah.
you probably don't want to do it if you
Correct.
can't get away with it.
Yes. So yeah, lah, this is mostly a step and all that how to do it lah, which I think is interesting to me because this is new to me actually.
Mhm.
I'm gonna move on to the next one. Postgres 15 is out. So it's actually a few weeks ago. It's so late. But what do they have is short performance, increased short performance, and of course compression. Then there is the other feature that it now includes the merge command. So you can so merge command is so you can merge into table using data source and condition where blah blah blah. So this is actually allow you to actually have multiple queries together.
How does it
So
work?
that you
Select from something where something something and then you merge. So how
Swimming
does that?
has
here you
to
are,
scroll down.
here you are, merge into a
Oh, so there's no select. It's the merge is the select.
yeah, merge in select using the others, and you can using this. So merge something into customer account here using select from.
So using this is a sub select with
Yeah.
this. But
Then when
the
it's
main
matched, then you.
statement
I
is
think
the
it's
merge.
gonna be I don't know. Most of the common use is gonna be aggregate table or something.
Yeah. It's for aggregation actually. The point of all this is for aggregation, so that you can like when a condition, then put it inside wine, merge it into a wine. So in this case, what is wine? What is the first thing that do? Sorry, I need to look at this. Merge into target table, right? Merge into a target table. So you create a new table. You did create a new table for this using query. So which is interesting for me. I don't have a strong use case.
Is this a query or does it actually modify data and then create?
It will modify the table. On top just now, I quickly look through it. It will modify the target table. So for example, you have the when you have the wines table, for example, then it will wine table, then it will overwrite that one or it will update the table of that one.
And delete.
So yes.
It means that when you merge, you delete the record.
Correct. So one way I can think of this is we can use this for aggregation, for reporting table. When you want to count things on the fly, right? This is something that you can use it for. When you have, so for example, how many, let's say you have merge into this when some person, some type of person dot count is value, then person type value is this value now. So this is a count table, for example. It won't be a live count, but it will be something aggregated at the end of the day, for example. This is the first thing I can think of right now. I don't have a strong use for this. And also, if you build your own aggregation table internally, maybe I do not know how well the framework will support right now. Because
I think the usage from here, it is merge is just a query that start this, but that you actually force you to do these if cases.
Correct.
So
you need to
match, what should you do?
Correct.
And match, what should you do?
Yeah, which is the reason, which is almost always for reporting use actually. When you want to group the number of things together, how many this type of person, how many this type of customer, how many people with this amount of salary, for example. So this one, so they introduced merge. Then they have new function for regular expression, and you can create views with query data with permission caller, not view creator. Then logical replication, logging enhancement. So they got a new logging called JSON log, which is awesome. When you need something to digest it, you got something that's easier for you to do now. Then server level statistic we talked about some time back. And we can also revoke create permission for all users except database owner. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I have used for merge table, but in mostly internal use for one-time use or so. And also my team is at most a Rails engineer. Otherwise, the JavaScript engineer, they may not have to use for this yet. I have some idea how to use this. So yeah, PostgreSQL 15. Anything you want to add? You guys want to add?
Postgres is always good.
Well,
yes,
Postgres
awesome.
is like
it's
just doing everything. It's just merging all of the different things. Now you have MongoDB inside as well. You have
actually the query for JSON field is not really, I don't like it. It works, but it's actually complicated. It's actually pretty complicated.
What? Which one are you using?
I use
the shorthand one or the functional one?
Shorthand. I use shorthand. Shorthand is actually pretty painful for me.
Yeah, if it depends actually what sort of things you want.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do for Postgres JSON is I try to find okay, so so we have a consistent JSON object with certain key. I want to find the value of certain key and just print that out, and that's about it. And I find it a bit hard for me lah. So maybe I missed something there, because what I do care about is really the value of that field, right? So something dot user data dot so there's a value key lah. So there's key value. I want the value or the value in that JSON object. I just want to print that one out and do a count for it. So yeah. So next one, actually I need to reverse a bit. I should start with here. 3.11 is out. As you can see, I stopped reading the news for a long time. This is something I can talk about last week, but I forgot about that. So 3.11 is out. They got so one of the things they introduced is better error reporting. So what does it mean? That when you have exception, it will print the line correctly. So for example, this is something happening right now. If a non-type result object is not subscriptable, so now they actually show it will actually make you show that non-type is not subscribable here. They will show where it is and whatnot. So it's a better way to show error compared to last time. Last time is actually they show non-type, but non-type of where. That's not very clear for non-trivial code. So now they actually do things like operand should not be broadcast together with shapes, for etc. So this is all these are to making things easy for people to learn the language and get the error properly. Then now you got better more fine-grained exception, which is precisely what they say, multiple failure and all that. So it's probably invisible for you, but it's nice. Toml, meh. Task group for async IO. Then you have improvement for regular expression. Now you support like star group, and all these are supported in the regular expression library that Python comes with. They got, of course, you got the it's up to 10 to 60% faster than Python 3.10. Again, that is arbitrary. You need to measure yourself. Then you got types and all that lah. So the big thing for Python 3.11 is mostly performance, and actually the traceback. Some of the things like type and order is just very nice.
The traceback is gonna be more accurate, pointing where you made the mistake, right?
Correct. So yeah lah, 3.11 is out. I may use it soon, but let's see. In fact, I may use this for Advent of Code, which is what I do every year. Okay, I don't have the number here, but it should goes back to here. Get is 25%. So this is actually describing where they do the improvement. It's pretty detailed, but in short, there is say you that say here they do faster division, faster sum, optimized printf, formatting, the faster append. So it's a lot of library and internal change in short. So yes, so the good thing is not they did not get rid of GIL and all that, which is good, but it's faster and I like it. So it probably so I don't know how fast compared to JavaScript, but it's good enough. But what do I know? I used the language since I was 14. So
the Q.
I
don't know. I don't want to talk about Q anymore.
Yeah, people have opinion, and I don't want to go there.
So
anything to add?
Well, maybe they will finally realize that it's difficult not to have something like a GIL.
Let's remove GIL and let's do those people finally get to experience what you've been giving them over the years.
Yes, correct. So this one is close to me because so I'm thinking, what is ops nowadays, right? It's one of those questions we keep asking. So the answer from here is that the future of ops is platform engineering, and what is platform engineering is essentially there's a table. I'm going to show the table instead, because it's a lot of article, but there's a table here. So platform engineer. So platform engineer versus DevOps. Here, gathering product requirement. I hate this. Can you read this, or you want something larger?
Yeah.
If you don't have a requirement, how do you do product? Come on, swimming.
Yes, I know, right? So, but you would have certain type of sysadmin types. I'll call it the sysadmin types. That would actually, their job is just to make sure that the script runs, things are installed, things are updated, and all that. That's the second thing they talk about. Whereas my job currently is I don't just do everything on DevOps side. I also observe what people do, how developer works and all that. Those are requirements, so to say. Then from there, I build the things over, which is very different than the traditional sysadmin work, which just bring up the server and tell me what you want.
Which is like boring and bloody disconnected.
And also not really helpful because you're not giving them the whole solution. If you got a team that is reasonably new, then they say they just want a server. That's not what they want, right?
I still see this kind of sysadmin around that gonna give trouble to everyone.
Correct.
Like you don't need this, you don't need that.
Yeah, no, you need to ask why. Sometimes they need it, sometimes don't, right? Sometimes, but the problem is you also need to be a software engineer, programmer, whatever you call it. You need to know the code because what they want have a context. Once you understand the context, then you can give a proper solution. So one of my favorite one is there is always a call to just increase the size of the database. This problem, we had to increase the size of the database. That's what they do, and that's what they did. And they asked me, can you ask, if I don't ask them why they need to keep adding the size of the database, I will not know that they did not optimize the query at all, right? So that's a problem. We cannot have.
The more capacity you have, the more you're gonna use it.
So you need I even call myself the sysadmin, right?
Let me share you a story. It's a very funny story.
Yeah.
We have 100. We have a development machine with 128 gigs of RAM.
Yep.
And at one time there was this junior who I don't know what he did with his VS Code Node.js plugin that he used up all the memory.
How the hell?
If you have the capacity, they're gonna just use it.
Correct. So the thing is, modern day ops person cannot be just ops person that knows servers anymore. That's my experience anyway. But it depends on the role. My role here is a senior software engineer, meaning I don't just code, I also help things out, and I happen to be knowing the infrastructure. So that's a different thing, right? I still have to do the ops side of stuff, but the ops side of stuff leads to whatever the dev want. So in this case, what I do, I'm meant so that the internal team can to empower certain team, even though I call it Tai Chi to the other team, but the point is to empower them. So they should able to run whatever they need. But I still have to look at the left side, right? I still have to look at infrastructure capacity so that they don't overdo it and underdo it. So that there is fine balance. So for me, in my case, in my current job, I do both sides, but I have to do both sides. It's not one toward another, right? It's heavily leaned toward that, but I still have to do capacity planning before things get expensive, right? So that's the difference. And I still had to look at metrics and APM. I still had to look at both sides of the thing, right? So that's my situation here, and this is what related to me. The only thing is, if you have a very traditional ops sysadmin type organization, then this is not applicable to you because you're just a monkey. They just ask you to set up server, just set up server, which I think is not really healthy, right? It's not really healthy. You just ends up. You know the idea of Buster operator from hell? Because you're not careful, you just ends up like this. Let me find it. Buster operator from hell. BOFH. So it's a rogue computer operator that so it's an asshole that runs machine, right? So you're not careful, it ends up like this guy. That's not what you want to be.
I had the unfortunate. I had a little bit of privilege of unfortunately had to in the industry early enough to be working with one BOFS.
Yes, correct. So
they're gonna just berate you for anything you do, like you deploy to them.
Correct.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yes. So either way, this is a very old concept. So what I think in my particular case, this is I won't call it future, but this way of doing ops is more relatable to me. And as a senior engineer, software engineer, if you have to do ops, you're closer to this than your traditional sysadmin job, to be honest. And it's a good thing because you're in a privileged position in a way that you're a software engineer than an ops person, traditional sysadmin roles. So you don't think at machine first and how things are used first. Because this sort of thinking, in my opinion, require you to think more like a software engineer than traditional sysadmin.
I would say it's SRE.
Yeah.
What about SRE?
I mean, if you want to really, it's not really thinking about it. It's to be able to have someone to understand the context enough to know what is there to be fixed.
So it's more like a specialization of sorts, like because
it's still a special
doing a lot. Then you kind of know.
Correct.
Okay, you kind of know the special techniques on how to debug or like extract information from these systems.
Correct. So, and also the way they do this is also a bit different because like time spent on Linux versus this. These where things are a bit different in my opinion, which is why I say it's not 100%. It's not something I 100% agree with because in practice you cannot be on the left side all the time.
Now on right side whatever they suggest is more probably as a guideline.
Yeah, it's a guideline. Correct. So you can't in practice.
Notepads.
In practice you can't yet. Don't be dogmatic about that because I could be wrong, but yes, you need to know between the both between side.
I like the mantra differences.
Yeah. Yes.
One is a run less software. One is a cattle notepads.
Yes. And
not your bloody
everything
pads.
As a senior engineer is my job. And it's my job to say as a senior engineer, it all depends. So in short, this is what I observe. What I observe is a bit different. So yeah. But then I also have a bias because I have tendency more of a person that's like to set up my own server first compared to software. So yeah. That being said, context matters, and for me, what they say have valid software engine. So yeah, what you guys want to add before we go on?
Nothing.
Yeah.
You already covered most of what I want to say.
Yeah. So this one is something on top of that.
I think this one is people rediscovering from the other side. In the beginning, developers should know how to do servers and all of these things. Now they're saying sysadmins should know how to program and build systems. See, it's the same rediscoveries.
Yes.
All over
so in this case, this is more of things that you should have.
They forgot that at one time sysadmin did coding and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're rediscovering the whole thing again. Like, software developers should know how to do sysadmin and all of these configuration servers. Correct. And then now server admin should know how to build programs properly
Yes.
in software and whatever.
Correct.
I would
Correct.
say, to be fair, it's none of it's really the
Yeah.
job of
They
software
rediscover DevOps again all over
Yes.
again,
developer.
right?
Yes.
What we're gonna name it this time?
Mm.
But the big difference is old days, the DevOps is one of those things that's hidden. You just make things and they run it inside. Nowadays, you have to think. Okay, at least for me, I have to think like a product owner of sort, in a way that I have to find out what my user want, right? What my user want, how they use it, how they
Yeah, but
use the
that's the thing, right?
production.
Especially-
It becomes a justification of the existence of this thing, because otherwise you'll be out of a job if like it becomes seamless. Like once as soon
Yep.
as you set it up, it's invisible.
you
Why are we still
automate the
paying
job
you, right?
away.
So now
Yeah.
the problem there is that it turns into a product, and then now you start looking for problems to solve to justify that
Yes.
you're still doing things.
Yes. Except you, when it comes to a situation where, things go too expensive and all that, that's where experience
Well,
comes in.
waste
So you
time
need
on
to,
code coverage. Yeah, exactly.
yes, focus.
If,
So this
if
is
you
what
show me 100% covered, I mean, code normal
Yep.
normal working project, not really like a database or something
Yeah.
like that. If it's
Yep.
not an open source project, your own some other production project with 100% code coverage, that's a bit bollocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
correct.
that means resources were directed to the wrong place, to the wrong priority.
Correct.
If you do it like that, open
Because
source projects,
especially
because you can, yeah,
yeah, because like if it's a CRUD, like if you are using a framework, most of them are tested anyway.
Yes, precisely. So either way, this is a very good advice. Less on infrastructure and more on making sure that things actually run. I don't agree with some of the
Use Helm
operating
though.
thing. Yeah, I don't agree with this. I don't agree, and yeah, structural law is non-negotiable. I don't agree with that. You can make do without it, but it's nice to have. This is nice to have. Structured law is just very nice to have.
You don't need that. You don't need structure log for APM.
Yeah, I know, but it's just nice to have for that kind of thing. I don't agree with Kubernetes, but you need to. You just use it. But some of these are what like deploy everything all the time. Yes. Then validate deployment as they go. Limited config rollout. Yes.
Yes, that is very essential. That's why we have
Correct.
downtime for major services because
Correct.
of bad configs. It's always about bad config.
Correct. Then make regression obvious. Make plans extremely obvious.
Yes.
So don't just change because you think it's
keep it
easy.
simple,
No, you don't.
stupid.
Yes. So this article is very good advice. So I
You see,
recommend you
I'm
follow
actually
it.
like literally parroting Tristan. Like this is
Yes.
this is what we talk about when we were young.
Yes, precisely.
No,
Damn
no,
kids.
it's
Get off my
again.
server.
This is the viewpoint from the other side. Like this,
Yes.
like software developers discovering, oh, we need to know about servers. These are server admins
Yeah.
discovering, oh, this is how
Yeah.
good software is done, and
Yes.
like you'll get like another of that DevOps renaissance.
At this rate, we are not gonna be out of job swimming.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna just in 10 more years time, I bet OOP is gonna come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the abstraction and all that. People do structures and all that. I know, been there through that. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through that. TensorFlow, the beginning for the next one, TensorFlow. So the compilation, XI compilation, so that you can just run code on it without the whole TensorFlow thing. They try to do the distributed computing so that you can have multiple machines to do training, then optimization. They are focused on a solution, that development, and making it easy to export with simple API for application. So and they use NumPy's API standard and all that. Not much for you, but in theory, it make it easy to deploy models, and that's one thing lah.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. Guiding, maintaining velocity. So it's this 4 thing lah. Hiring the best engineer, building solid foundation from day one, tracking metrics to guide decision making and keeping teams more independent. So hiring best engineer is obvious. So building long-term foundation is actually a lot harder because some people will think that their stuff is solid. I would disagree. Somebody would disagree anyway, to be honest.
I would say it's hard when the domain is not solidified
Clear.
as well.
Correct.
Yeah, not
correct.
clear.
So then, but data driven is given. You should do your log properly and all that, so they make decision. Don't make decision out of dogma. So, so pick something you know best.
And do not do engineering decision without measurement.
Correct.
That's where the loggings and metrics are for.
Correct. And choose something that you know. Don't choose something that you choose a tools that is hip. This is where JavaScript developers have this. You know the language, but the framework keep changing. I do not know how you can start something all the time.
My day is gonna be I'm gonna use it if it stays the same next year.
Yeah, correct.
I don't need long. It's just next year.
Yeah, precisely. Then keep team independent. Yeah, that makes sense. If you can find it, you can. It's not too hard actually. Then you would have. Then you need to keep teams more independent. All that is something that we already know. Like just they keep saying it's just repeat of what we already know actually. So it's a very good article. You should look at it. But if you already know it, that's it lah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Next one is Alt0 had primer on cryptography, not cryptocurrency, cryptography. Yes, that's what crypto stands for.
Do not first rule of cryptography: do not roll your own cryptography algorithm.
Yes, correct. So this is
not smart enough.
Correct. So this is not a rigorous tutorial on how to do things, but this actually give you a introduction on how the technology works and what the technology is about. So very good introduction. Give you enough keyword to look deeper into what you need to learn. I don't have a good resource on where you want to go deeper, but it is what it is.
Support free content.
Okay, I will pay for it. Back to me.
No, it's continue without. No, continue. Okay.
Okay. I will open up the ad later. So, I-46 may finally be phased out. It's not confirmed yet, by the way.
I don't think I use 46
for a long time. In fact, no people does for a long time actually, and it's not a bad idea to do that. There is a lot of support as well.
486 is one of the popular upgrade from the 386S.
Correct.
From when I think I my first IBM PC was the 386SX.
Correct.
And then it's the 486DX after that. Then you had your Pentium and all of these things that Celeron and whatever that you Pentium 2. But 486 was a very good, what do you call this? It's an upgrade path. Like it's if you had the 386, that was the thing that you wanted to look forward to. And then you have like the 3366 megahertz button or something.
Correct. So the only thing is, I do not know who actually have any of this running, and it's not even run as a microprocessor.
I have a 4x6
as well.
I just have a 4x6 as an individual chip.
Yeah.
What happened to me?
No, I just moved my chair.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's still working at home though. The chassis is rusted and it's full of cobwebs.
I took out the processor, but it's but I don't think anyone using it. It's not even power efficient.
Yeah, I know. So
I mean, you can still use the ATX power supplies. Like
I still remember how hot that one was.
Yes. So either way, maybe it's not a bad idea. So there is no, it is what it is now. Then maybe they will turn it into a museum piece, lor. So this is what I have time to cover. We have some extra thing that I did not cover. For example, la 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 secure drop. No, la la la.
So what is
la.
secure
Oh
drop?
yeah, JPS. JPS have to shut down their data center because of cooling issue. This actually affect flood because it's monsoon now.
Yeah,
So
because the
it's
public info bundle is down for a few days.
yep. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Then another one that is uh then this one is this is a system to use Leica and mount lens on the Raspberry Pi camera. Again, interesting. Not necessarily practical, but interesting. They have 3D printed component and all that, and they just use the sensor, not the lens. So yeah, they need an adapter and all that, and it runs on Raspberry Pi. So that's one. Then Lu have opinions on that. They are not wrong when it comes to cutting down the top sea levels, but uh, on the other hand, I don't know. It's
There's been always,
very
for past several years, there've
yep,
been memes and jokes that some of the big tech, what you call it, management level are more bloated.
yes,
Like
correct.
they are a
Bloated
bunch
in
of
terms of what?
managers. They are like, there's a few cartoon strip actually that I saw over the
Mhm.
years that are like 8 to 10 managers
Yeah, I
to
see. So
manage
they,
one developer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which
Yep,
I think we were talking about it like in the beginning about Twitter, right? That I think you were in the bathroom at that point. That
yep,
uh, the firings I think is like it was coming because
Mm.
there's a lot of dead weight
Yeah.
in the organization.
yep,
And like usually that's the thing when you acquire something you can immediately say and you can immediately see where the
Mm.
fat and the excess are coming from and you want to take it
correct.
get rid of it.
So yeah,
I
then I
mean,
think
not
that's
even
about
trying to defend Musk here. It's just some of the
yes,
organization we see are obviously polluted.
Yeah, not this
correct.
is not specific to the Twitter takeover or to Elon Musk, but it's just
Yep,
that's just what happens when you someone takes over for
Mm.
over an organization that's been running for years. That there
Yep.
is
yes.
going to be inefficiencies accumulating, and that's the
Yep.
first thing that someone who's
Mm-hmm.
acquiring would do is to remove
Yep.
all
Yep,
of those inefficiencies. And so
Exactly.
that's again, this is normal, but the way
yep,
I see that media has been spinning it is that this is something that's special because it's Twitter and because it's Musk.
No,
And
really.
yep,
when you think
It's
about it, is
the
that this is just how things have been
it's
happening.
it's something we discussed
yes,
over the years that why things
mm-hmm.
became so bloated,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
people are celebrating, and juniors developers are celebrating this kind of bloatness.
Mm.
yeah. So okay, so this is a repeat of Python 3, Python 3.11, uh, Patlib and all that. Very minor stuff, but yeah, lah. I think that's about it really.
That was the
So
traceback lah. That's the difference of the traceback. No, I think it's
correct, correct,
actually pretty good as well. The
correct.
traceback. Yep.
So that's about it. Also, tomorrow is 11/11 sale. Hope maybe you
Uh,
grab something interesting.
and also
I know
news
I
is that
won't.
I might not
Uh
be
huh.
able to make it. I'm not sure. Depending on how's my travel plan gonna be, I'm not probably not gonna be able to make it next week.
Yeah.
Mm.
So for you guys that need to leave early for the hometown for voting, please do it. So I don't care who you vote, just go to vote and go back to hometown early if you can. Then tomorrow is a sale. I won't be getting anything I will get something else, but
Single sale.
I can't afford a GPU. I can't afford a GPU. I want
So
a
I'm waiting.
3060.
So the
Uh-huh.
remember the GPD WinMax 2 that I ordered
Yep.
from Indiegogo? I
Yep.
just got the DHL notification this afternoon. So
Ooh.
it should be coming within the next week,
I
hopefully.
think I
Yep.
bought
And
everything I need.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
bought everything in anticipation to the currency.
Mm.
So
Yes.
yeah, it'll be a while
You
until I
know,
need
Yeah,
to.
it will be a while before we import anything more
Yeah,
yep.
because the exchange rate is very bad.
Yes.
Oh, but I
Also
guess from China
GPT.
it's fine. It's the from the US
Yes.
is the problem. Sorry, you were saying?
The GPT machine, a laptop, the small machines, is the
Hmm.
closest thing that I want as a cyber deck. I
Yeah.
don't know how practical it is because it's very small, but
It's the same
it's
size as a small Android. It's the same size as an Android tablet, like a Samsung Galaxy S6 or
yeah,
S7. That's the
right.
size. So you can put it in your bag or something or your purse,
Yep.
and it's and the way you do it is you don't really use it as the laptop, right? You dock it, and if
Yeah,
worst comes to worst, you have to use the screen. Then yes, you have a full size keyboard and those things. So
correct,
that's the
correct.
way I'm planning to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm
I don't
planning
think
to
it
use
will
it
be
more for jobs.
practical. Yeah, I don't think it will be like something I use all the time. Maybe like something just
Oh,
occasionally open up.
that's what I'm going to be using for work. Like I just go to the
Ooh.
office and dock it there, go back home,
Yeah.
continue my work, dock it, and because it has a battery, so you never
Yeah.
lose context.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Oh
that's
well.
what I bought it for. So instead of an actual laptop, like the big 14-inch, 13-inch ones, I just got this 10-inch
Right.
laptop, which is a 6800U, 32 gigs of memory, which is not bad for like it's very very difficult to find a mainstream laptop manufacturer that has this kind of spec, like a 32 gig
Yes.
DDR5. Usually
Yes.
for a gaming laptop, you 16 gig max is the one that you'll find, and
Yep.
32 gigs is like super expensive or not in their consumer line. So
Yes.
like this is a 10-inch with a 32 gig 6800U, so that's like a 8 core 16 thread AMD
Yep.
CPU. So it's a very interesting combination with a gamepad built in. So it's a very interesting combination.
Oh well. Show me once it comes. I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really want is a GPU, but I can't afford it now. So maybe
Mm.
next year, which is really 2 weeks away actually. I know 2 months away. So
Mm.
let's see how it goes. Okay lah. Thanks for listening. And with that said, have fun. Go back to vote. Etc. Etc.
And yeah, stay safe.
Bye. See you
Yes.
next week.
Bye,
Yep.
guys.
Bye.